Okay, I want to talk a little bit before we get into the recognition this month. I want to talk about business growth, you guys. So, for those of you that don't know, my entire background is business. Not what I went to school for. I have a kinesiology degree, but I kind of fell into it in a small town and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And so, when you have, $1 million of inventory in your stores, because we had three of them, and you have to pay your mortgage with that income, you learn really, really, really fast how things work, right? And there's not a lot of like, I don't feel like doing it today, right? I'm just going to learn about this later. Like you really had to learn. And I didn't, again, go to university and get a business degree. It was learning on the fly. But here's the thing that I know about business is there's essentially three ways that you're going to grow. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, right? It's not just one action. We will focus on different areas, but it's not just one, but it truly is from three different areas, and it comes from stacking, right? So we've all heard of habit stacking, right? Where you change your habits to create better habits. It's the same thing with your business. You can stack the right behaviors, and every time you do that, the chances of you having better and better outcomes grows. Now, I wish that there would be, just one way to do things. When I look back to when I had my storefronts, right? I had three of them. We weren't yet, and social media wasn't as big of a deal then. And so everything truly was about getting people in your door, always getting people in your door. We would mail, you guys, we would still mail stuff back then. I would mail flyers in the mail, which were very, very like thousands of dollars to send out paper flyers. And you spent a lot of money on advertising. So the benefit to our business today is we've got this, it's free. We literally don't have to spend money on advertising. You guys, you have social media. You can go, talk to people. Dory, I think Dory's on here today. Dory just signed up one of her favorite boutique owners. Why? Because she talks. And probably because the lady's like, what are you doing that makes you look so good, Dory? And then she started sharing about it. Then she became a customer. Guess what happens? People start talking about it. Then they're in the store. Dory's talking to her. Another lady walks in, wants to order BioCell. I mean, this is how this works. Dory says, oh my gosh, you should be upgrading from a customer to an ambassador because now we have another customer. And then another one came in, you guys, and ordered. So she's going to actually go set up and do an event there, which is what? Free advertising, you guys. It's free. And so when I look back on, again, those traditional businesses, we spent a lot of money on advertising. And we have this beautiful, wonderful world that we live in today that we don't need to do it. However, there's also no one standing behind us telling us what to do, right? There's no one who's checking up on you every day. Like sometimes being self-employed is tough because you don't have a list of things to do. That's all comes from you, right? We can coach it, we can train it. You still have to take action. So I want to talk tonight about the three levers that really will help you with growth in your business. So number one, write this in your notes. There's only three ways. New volume. This is so important, you guys, because no matter what, you will always have attrition in your business. When I had my stores, I always had customers that would fall off. Why? They might move. Back then, I mean, we live in such a better world today. They might move. They're like, I don't really like the clothes that you picked this season, right? You always have attrition in your business. That is normal, right? And like, don't beat yourself up for that either, because that is normal. However, when you have attrition in your business and you're not bringing in new volume, guess what starts to happen? Your business starts to do this. And again, remember, attrition is normal in every single business that's out there. People die, right? Like you are not going to have the exact same customer base that you have all the time. But if all you do is rely on the same one and you're not acquiring new volume, you're not acquiring new ambassadors on your team, which can then bring in and open new pods of business for you, you're going to go backwards. So acquiring new volume is one way. How about like having the volume we have and retaining more of it? Okay, so retention is the second thing. Now, we are so lucky. I'm going to go into these into detail. We are so lucky here to have a loyalty program. Again, when I look back at my stores, it is one-time purchase, and you pray they just walk through those doors again and that your advertising dollars work, right? You just hope that they love, you know, whatever, if it was the grocery store, that they love the price of bananas and they're going to come back. You were always working on that, but there was no retention built in like we have with loyalty, you guys. And if you do not yet understand how powerful this is, a homework for you is I want you tonight to sit down and I want you to go and look at one of your longest term customers that you've had, say from April, and look at how much money you make on their purchase every single month. Right? Because it is really simple here because it's on the dollar. So let's use an example of $200 and let's use the 30% mark. If you're at the 30% tier, right? So what's 30% of 200? Public math is 60. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. 10 months. What's 60 times 10? $600, right? So that one customer that I got in April of last year, because I did a good job, and I'm going to talk about some strategies with this in a second, you just don't make that sale once, you guys. You continue. So that's $600 in 10 months. That's 600 in another 10 months. That's 600 in another 10 months. I've done like the math, and this is with the prior company where we made less. Okay, you guys, I've done the math, and it was incredible. I figured out some of my BioCell customers, I'd made $7,000 on. Why? Retention, ordering month after month after month. So if you do all of this hard work and you're not retaining because you're not leveraging the programs that we have and explaining them properly, or you're scared to talk about it, you're gonna, again, your volume's gonna go down. So retention, you're gonna grow, okay? And then increasing the actual order size, right? So that's the only way. Is new, retaining more of what you've got, and increasing the cart, increasing the order size, right? How do we do that? Consultative selling, actually solving problems, not just selling a product and then letting them drop. Bundles, leveraging the offers that we have. You guys, this month, we have an offer right now for our existing customers. When they spend $175 in the US, $225 in Canada, they can add one of our top selling products for $20 or $28. If you have not yet reached out to every single customer that is on loyalty right now today and explained this to them and given them 3 suggestions of what they can add to their order to get to that benchmark, you are leaving money on the table. And I am seeing orders come through that is not happening. And do you know what? Some people, the orders are going through and they've met the benchmark, but that product isn't added on. Why? Because no one took the time to have the conversation with them. So what does that offer do? Number one, whatever the gap is, right? So if they have to spend 25 more, typically they're spending more than that, you make more money on that, but they're also trying a new product, which is one of our top reorder products, the serum or those wands, that they're going to continue ordering, right? So leverage those offers. Don't just like, I'm going to leave it. So if you've not talked to every single person that is on loyalty this month and explain this to them, again, you're doing them the disservice, okay? So let's talk about new. This is all we've been talking about all month, right? Andrea's entire, well, she had a fever, entire Saturday was about this, you guys. So how do you get new business? You have to be having consistent conversations. Screenshot this, write this in your notes. If you are not talking to people, guess what? You're not going to have new business. You guys, you just won't. You have to talk to people. So you actually have to have the invites. You have to have the conversations. How do you start some of that? Well, education-driven content will build trust and curiosity. So go look at your content. Are you okay, I'm going to give you my content plan every single week, you guys. I do one business, whether it's a reel, a post, or a carousel, okay? One business, one product, and I switch those products up, but I stay in my niche. I talk about inflammation, so Vivix and BioCell. I talk about the skin because I love our skincare line. I talk about the wands. I talk about protein. I stay in that kind of my space, right? So one business, one product, for lifestyle, What does lifestyle mean? It's like me. It's my things that I talk about. I talk about hiking, I talk about traveling, I talk about my dog, I talk about like the things that people are attracted to me because of that. And then one funny. Why? Funny is money. Funny gets me the follows, and then I convert with my content. Okay. So your education, your content is going to build that trust with your audience, right? It's going to create curiosity. I don't talk about the company name. I really talk about, like, I have my own names for everything, and I talk about that. How else can you get new customers? Events, whether those are online, like what we're doing on Thursday or last Thursday, or offline, meaning like what Dory's doing in the boutique. Jules has been partnering with Jackie, going to all these cool, I'm actually like, I wish I lived where they live. I would go to all of those events. But what can you do? What can you do in your own home that's going to bring people in, expand your audience, and gain you new business? If you've not yet had people into your home and had them try the products, you guys, you're missing out, right? So you can do customer focused events that showcase products. You can do business focused events. And guess what, though? You don't have to do them on your own, because we provide every single month those for you, okay? Another really great way for someone that's new is utilizing our groups. Be Ageless has been lit up. Thank you to everyone who's been posting their wand results, their serum results, their Vivix results. So all you have to do is invite someone into Be Ageless, tag them on some really great posts that are going to speak to them, and you have the social proof in the group doing the work for you, okay? But again, if you're not exposing them to these things, they're not even going to know it's there. All right, new people fuel new volume, okay? If you don't have new ambassadors and customers, we want both, right? Andrea talked about having Thrive to 5, 2 business, 3 product conversations every single week. Track it, make sure you're doing it. Okay, let's talk about loyalty. I find that a lot of my mentoring conversations that I have, people are scared of this, you guys, and I'm going to share exactly what I say. I want to tell you that the old way of thinking of, like, again, we've all been there where you were locked into some crazy subscription auto ship thing that you had to sell your child to get out of, right? So these days are over. This is the most simplest loyalty program besides the little checkbox. Okay, that's not simple. It's small. We have to pay attention to it, but it's simple. They can cancel, they can change it, they can move it out 2 months, they can move it out, I think it's 90 days as well. Like, you can set up multiple loyalties. It's insane. But here's what I'm going to tell you, that proper onboarding, AKA what you talk about to your clients, sets that tone for the long-term retention. I love that every single month I can look in my business and I have $8,000 running on loyalty in volume. Someone do the math. That's almost the 40%. What's that? 35%. Someone do the math and put it in the comments. I know every single month, because I've done a good job with loyalty, that is going to run. Now it's my job, because I like to be at the 10K, to go and get more new business, right? Or go in, like, people who maybe are waffling a little bit on loyalty, really solidify that. But that will build your business. And imagine waking up every single month on the first of the month and you know you have X amount. Do you guys know your number? If you do, put it in the comments. Does anyone know? Do you know how much volume you have in retention every single month? And if you don't, that might be a fun little activity to go also figure out. Okay. So you want to teach your customers how to use the products. You know, 90% of the time when people are like not using it, it's because they don't know how to use it properly and you haven't talked to them about it. You sold it to them and you're like, yes, I got the sale, but then you're scared to go and talk to them again, because what happens if they cancel loyalty? What happens if they don't like it? What happens? Guys, you're overthinking it. Do a really exceptional job of taking care of your customers, and they are going to use the products properly because you've told them how to use it. Help them build the routines to stay on target, right? Do you know how many people I tell all the time, because this is me, like, set your phone alarm to take your BioCell at night, because guess what? I never remember. 8 years in, I have a phone alarm to remind myself. So those are the little tips that you can help your customers. Checking in will help them build trust. They help, again, you are the authority, and you establish yourself as the authority when you're checking in. And again, that loyalty creates that predictable monthly volume so that you know every single month on the first of the month, I have this much coming in. Now my gap, I'm going to go grow it. So retention will compound growth. So I wanted to share a couple of my messages. So I send this the minute that they're literally ordered, like right away. Okay, so two things. Number one, I like to do their first order always, 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 always. Why? Number one, I can do it through that little sponsor someone button in my back office. It is so simple here, you guys. It is so simple. So I love to do that because number one, I see my name and I don't see. So again, if I saw Nancy's name, I'd be like, oh, cookie, there's some sort of weird cookie in there. I don't even know what that means half the time. I just know it's not my name, right? So I like to do their first order, and most people are actually really receptive to it depending on how you present it. If you're like, you know, I'd just rather send you a link, or here's your link, and you just let it go at that, they're going to be at number one. You also don't know when they're going to order. If you're like, hey, I love to take care of that first order for you. I like to consider myself your like concierge, and I want to make sure that you get a really great experience and we're not leaving any free products or any offers on the table. Usually when I say that, they're like, oh yeah, okay, help me, right? If they're uncomfortable sending you a credit card, guess what? We've got this. And you literally, doot, 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 hi. And you can get on the phone with them and then do their order that way, you guys. Like, do it old school. Jeff on my team does appointments all the time. And guess what? His average order size is huge. Okay. So I like to do their first order. No matter what, I click loyalty. I click all the little boxes. Why? And if you don't know this, this is important. When they spend $150 on loyalty as a new customer, they get $25 of free product credits deposited into their account. So when you don't do that for them, you're basically stealing their 25. This is the way I think about it, right? So I don't go through a song and dance before I do all of this, you guys. I literally get their info, or they're on the phone with me. I do it all. And then part of my onboarding is I have checked you out on loyalty. And I tell them why. Because I got you $25 in free product. You can adjust it, you can cancel it, you can do whatever you want. But that got you $25. And they're like, oh, thank you. That is awesome. Right? So it's how you talk about it after. So again, this is my messaging. The minute that they order, it's saved in my boards, and I send it. Okay, the other thing which I now have to go back and add, because in Canada we didn't have the catalogs for so long, and I forgot. Every single new customer also gets a catalog with their order, you guys. So I have to go in and adjust this. But I used to say, my US messaging does say this. I say, you're going to receive the most beautiful catalog you've ever seen with your first order. I want you to flip through it and like just circle a few things that jump out at you. And do you know how many people have ordered again after this first order because of that dang catalog? Again, it's something that I love that we do. So that I have to add back into my Canada message. We were out of them, you guys, just so you know, for like 6 months. It was like so hard. So now they're back. Okay, so again, this is my messaging. And I talk to them. I'm like, you get 15% off plus any extra discounts or on top of that member pricing. So I'm reinforcing their buying decision right away. You get 15% off as a member. I checked you out on loyalty because you got $25 in free product. And then I touch on loyalty, but I don't deep dive. So I say, when you keep, because again, I'm like, there's a word and I can't think of it, midlife brain, assumptive. It's assumptive. Like, when you keep your monthly order, it's not like, would you like to? It's not, when you keep your monthly order, and this is the Canadian. So the US, your number is 100. Canada is 150. Australia, you're 100. Lucky you. Ours is higher. So I want you to actually see that if you live in the US or Australia, we're higher and we still are able to get people on, stay on loyalty with $150, okay? So when you keep your monthly order of $150 plus, you earn a percentage back in loyalty points that you can redeem for full-size products. It gets even better. Your points double in month 4 and triple in month 7. That's thanks to Paulette Moose-Kalfez. It's her language. I love it. Why? Double and triple sounds really freaking awesome. Really freaking awesome, you guys. You get an email 1 week before, we have time to make any adjustments. Boom, right? Okay, so that is my quick message I send to them right away. This is my I love Project Broadcast for systems, you guys, because I have a large customer pod and I need to have systems. So now, because they might have texted me on my real phone or on Facebook Messenger, I want to introduce them that I'm going to be talking to them with my business line in Project Broadcast. So this is my Project Broadcast. Hi, I'm so glad we're connected. I always want to be warm too and real. This is my personal business line where I get to support you one-on-one as your wellness mentor and product concierge. It's like Louis Vuitton, baby. It's like Louis Vuitton. Save this number in your contacts, because remember, this is a random number that they're like, who is this person? Save it in your contacts so you don't miss anything. This is your VIP experience, a personalized way for me to stay connected with you, share the latest updates, because I also send them not just sales stuff, you guys. I send them like a weekly Project Broadcast. This month, all I'm talking about is the skin to them. Like all month is about the skin and how great it is and how great the products are, right? And not selling all the time. My goal goes beyond making sure that you have your products. I'm here to help you see real progress, reach your goals. You're going to hear from me. Again, set the stage. You're going to hear from me so it's not weird, and I don't feel weird when I'm texting, right, with tips on how to use it, insider info, sneak peeks, da, da, da. This is the other thing that I've learned. When you get your order, send me a quick message or a pic. Why do I do this? You guys, again, it's so that you know they've got their order. So them sending the picture isn't about, you going, oh yeah, it's all there. It literally is another way of connecting, and they're initiating that connection, right? I'd love to celebrate with you, help you have everything you need. And again, it's one more way that I then can make sure that they're using their products properly. Now, next step after this, again, and I do let them opt out but no one does at this point, okay? Again, it's how you message. Now at this stage, so they've ordered, I've got that, thank you for ordering, then this is my business line. Now I've set the expectation that I'm going to be sending them information. Now I've built out campaigns. So a campaign is something you can use in Project Broadcast. If you are not, again, you guys, if you're not Project Broadcast, you don't have to have a campaign. You just have to send yourself a little reminder in your phone to follow up and tell them how to use their products. So the first thing in all of my campaigns I do is I reinforce their buying decision. What does that mean? That means that I'm like, oh my God, Sam, I am so glad that you ordered Beauty. It's my favorite tasting blend. And you wouldn't believe the results I've had with my hair. My mom, it's been incredible for her. I'm in Canada, I can say osteoarthritis. It's been incredible. And it is my mom for her osteoarthritis. I'm really excited you're using it. It's really important that you use it as directed for a minimum of 90 days. Right? Again, I'm setting the expectation for a minimum of 90 days. Why? That's because that's how it's supposed to work, you guys. If they quit early, they're probably not going to get the same results, and they're going to have this stuff, right? Then I send a series of usually 4 messages. Again, I use Project Broadcast because I have a big customer pod. You could send little reminders in your phone. Message my customer, message my customer, message my customer. So I reinforce their buying decision of how great that product is. And I don't really do a lot then. I just give them expectations of how to take it. And then I break that down so there's 4 different messages. So I don't care what product it is. Take that product, throw it into chat, say, make me a 4-part customer onboarding message that I can send to this customer. I want to reinforce their buying decision that it was a really great one, that they purchased this product. I want to tell them how to use it. I want to give them expectations of what to expect. This is something that I learned having my stores, you guys. If you just sell it and then you follow up and you're like, how are you feeling? You just opened the biggest can of worms ever, okay? So I like to tell them what to expect. Why? They don't know. They don't know, you guys. They're literally again, for me, BioCell, I don't have joint pain. So I wouldn't have had any expectation. But then I realized it was wicked for my gums. And then I actually had to go look it up. I was like, gums, is it good for gums? I don't know, is it good? Oh my God, it's really good for gums. Who knew? Right? So now you tell the people that, especially if that was why they came to you. So you give them expectation of what they're going to feel, what results they're going to see, okay? So then again, you can do that for every single product line. If you are a Project Broadcast, we have a chat. All this stuff is shared in there as well, okay? Now, next is loyalty reminders. So I've got my new customer. I've given the expectations. I've onboarded them. I've let them know what to expect. They're excited. I'm excited. I've stayed in high contact with them. So now when that little email comes through and it's like your customer's order is due in a week, you're like, you don't say, oh shoot, I haven't talked to them since they ordered. Because how many, again, let's be real. How many do that? Put it in the chat. And then you're like, oh crap, I don't want to message them because then they might cancel because I forgot to talk to them, right? This is why I like systems. I'm all about systems because I forget. So if you forget, number one, you still need to send this and do a better job, right? But number two, if you've been having those conversations when you're talking about their loyalty order, it's not weird, right? So first thing, if you want to swap the products, change the date. I can do that for you. Again, I'm their concierge. Once you're a business leader or director, you guys, you can do this all through your back office. One more reason you want to hit director. If not, you can log in as them. So I remind them again, they're going to get their free shipping. You guys, my benchmark is always 150, whether it's Australia, Canada, or the US, even though Australia and the US had lower loyalty, I always go for 150. Why? It's free shipping. Plus you earn loyalty points. Now, every single reminder, I give them a new favorite thing that they should check out and special savings that they can't miss. So I change this monthly. So this month we've got the 5-day protein recharge, special savings that you don't want to miss. We've got the offer. And again, you can see that I'm using those big numbers of 72% off and 80% off for those. Why? It sounds way better. It sounds way better than just adding it for 28 because they don't know how much it costs, right? We do, they don't. So by me saying, dude, that youth serum is 80% off. What person in their right mind wants to turn down an 80% off offer? No one. No one. Do you know how many people I have adding to get to this? Because they're like, really? 80% off? I'm like, yes, it's insane. It actually is insane. And again, Canada, we have Modere Mango Trim. If this was my US one, I just say we have a huge selection of Modere BOGO because a lot of my customers are still from Modere. And I would just adjust the numbers, okay? So if you want me to help me manage I'm here to help, blah, 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 you guys. So you can see how this keeps my retention higher, okay? So I want you all to like really dive into this. We have a really great loyalty program. And I have clients now who are at that triple month, right? Where their points are tripled. And like, you guys, it is so exciting. I'm like, you have $95 in credits. So then I remind them. So then I didn't put this in here, but my other reminder is your loyalty order is shipping. You have $95 or whatever in credits. These are my top 5 choices. And then I made a little graphic with all my favorites just to make it easier for them. So again, always give suggestions. You'll see that I have suggestions. Always give suggestions. Always, always, always. Again, you're like their concierge. So that loyalty though, and again, as they're going through that, I'll say, oh my gosh, you're in month 5, dude, next month or whenever it is, it triples. And do you know how fun it is to message these people and be like, hey, you got $50 for free this month. Good gut and go. Let's go, baby. And some of them are like, yeah, you just pick it. Surprise me. I'm like, I love it, right? So our loyalty program is so good, but what's not going to be good is if you're not talking about it, you're scared to talk about it, you like second guess it. And again, you guys, those are just some of the things that I do that every single customer is on loyalty. Now, do some cancel? Yes. I wish they never would, but yes, they do. You know, I had a skincare client because skincare, it lasts her longer. So she ordered it in the end of November. And of course, didn't want to be on loyalty because that's all she wanted. And I did my best. I was like, buy and sell, you know. But again, that's what she wanted. So I'm servicing her. Well, this month, her skincare is out, and now we have this awesome offer. So we're working together, right? So although hers wasn't every single month, I'll probably still have 4 orders in a year with a $350 skincare set, you guys. And the PV on skincare is quite high. So again, think about it that way, that even if they're not ordering monthly, that you'll have a rhythm of some sort, okay? Great. Okay, so lever number 3 is increasing the order size through consultative selling. I did an entire video on this for Drive to Director. I've posted it in the Getting Started board. I'm not going to cover it because it's like a whole other thing. But I want us to wrap our brains around, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Wrap your brain around solving problems instead of selling product, right? So that anyone, Lorenzo's on here. He will literally, it's so cute. He'll text me and be like, Jen, talking to someone and she has hot flashes and something else. Like he gives me their symptoms and problems. And I'm like, this, and this, right? So that a guy is able to go and sell to a female who has hot flashes. Why? Because he's doing consultative selling and solving the problem, right? Ask questions always, always, always. So when someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I'm interested in a 5-day reset, I don't just be like, here's the link. I'm like, oh, okay, tell me more. What have you tried? What's your thing like right now? Are you thinking about like what would be ongoing when you're done? Like I have lots of questions so that before I make the recommendation, so then I'm making a really solid recommendation for them. Okay. Always, always, always sell in bundles, which we've got all the bundles in the customer resource folder, and it says bundles, good, better, best. They're all there. Okay, you guys, they're all there, which we will have to update some pricing as well. And I'm just going to say this, Nicole Woolsey on one of our mentor calls shared this exact line with me. And she goes, I actually think sharing just a product link limits your sale. And I was like, oh, it is. It's so true. Because when you share a link to one product, what happens? If they order, they open it, they click on it, and that's it. They're not browsing, you guys. They're not shopping. They're not looking at what else is. They literally will order what you sent them. So when she said that, I was like, that is so brilliant. It limits your sale. It limits what you can do, right? So think of better solutions will lead you to bigger orders and also better retention, because the more that you can solve the problem, the more likely you are to be able to work on that lever 2 and get higher retention. Okay, again, there's a really good video on this. Maybe I'll go post it in Telegram later too. That's the whole entire process that I've done. And again, you guys, it started way back when I had my stores. Like it's years and years and years of trial and error and falling on my face and having people not order again and screwing up and learning what works best. But I can tell you that my sales are higher than ever, ever, ever because I use this method, right? Because I pay attention to bringing in new volume every month, because I'm always focused on my retention, because I really work on increasing every single order size. Because again, if you always have the same size order, you guys, how many of us only sell 2 packs of BioCell? And we never ever introduce them to anything else in this line. I'm calling some of you out right now. If you're only ever selling that 2-pack of BioCell and they know nothing else about Shaklee, like I feel like we're doing them the biggest disservice. They should be learning about Vivix. They should be learning about the protein options that we have. They should be learning about the vitamins that we have, you guys. We have such an amazing product line, okay? So your action plan, 5 to thrive. 3 product combos. We're going to be talking about this nonstop. 2 business combos every single week. You need to talk to new people daily. So I try, and every single day I go through and I look at who I'm talking to. And if there's not a new person, I go create conversation. Because again, you guys, if you're not talking to new people, your funnel will get less and less and less in your funnel. Support those customers intentionally, build in your systems, however that looks for you, whether it's Project Broadcast, whether it's setting phone alarms, putting notes in your notebook, again, whatever works for you, do it, but you have to be supporting them intentionally and really leveraging loyalty, you guys. Lead with solutions and bundles and use all of this content that we're giving you, these beautiful story flows that I'm like, oh my God, these are so great. And these events that we're making open for you. Use all of these tools, again, because if they're there and you're not utilizing them, number one, it like hurts my heart, but also it's like, how will you get your business to grow? Okay, and remember that these are the things that some of us had to do on our own always. And now we've got this team and this amazing team that does all of this for you, for your customers, so utilize them. So that's my little nudge to Phil Thursday. Okay, I'm gonna